Into Straight Up Sports, I am your host, Devin Albertson. On this show, I start off the week talking college football on Mondays, followed up with the NFL on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, I dive into the world of Division II football. And finally, on Thursdays, I will tackle Missouri 8-man football. On Fridays, I will review what I talked about Monday through Thursday. Also, want to make sure to ask you to follow Straight Up Sports on Twitter at show_straight and to follow my personal account at Devin Albertson. Straight Up Sports starts now.
Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday afternoons. I am your host, Devin Albertson, here on the 8-man edition of Straight Up Sports. Hope you guys are enjoying your week. We are into week 3 of the 8-man season, and I am excited. Make sure you follow Mo 8-Man Football on Twitter, as well as the show at show_straight, and my Twitter account at Devin Albertson. I'm going to start out with the power rankings I released this week. Released them on Monday. Not a whole lot of change from last week. Number 1, Stanberry. Number 2, Worth County. 3, King City. 4, Mountain City. 5, Pattonsburg. 6, Southwest Livingston. 7, Rockport. 8, North Andrew. 9, East Atchison. And number 10, Oric. Ranked for the first time ever as they are in their first year of 8-man after South Holt lost again last week. Moved the 2-0 Oric Bearcats into the top 10 after they beat Hardin Central, Norborne Hardin Central 54-30 last week. They played Judah Christian this Saturday, actually, a team from Illinois on the road. So Oric, long trip there. Both the top 9 in tag. No real... 1 through 4 I have is pretty set right now. I like those 4 teams, the best 4 teams in the state right now. Pattonsburg and Livingston are the 2 teams that are right outside that could possibly jump in, but right now I like them at 5 and 6. But 7 through 10, I still have some question marks about each one of these teams. Rockport, I know they beat Platte Valley this week, beat DeKalb the week before, but they have not looked great in those 2 wins. I still worry about Rockport, what they're going to do throughout this year. They got Stewartsville on the road this week. We'll kind of see there. Stewartsville got beat up by Mountain City last week in a 66-0 loss at halftime. So we'll see how Rockport looks versus Stewartsville. I'm not sold on Rockport whatsoever. I think they're down a bit this year. North Andrew, they lost week 1 to King City. They came back and beat Christian last week by 30, but it was an ugly game called short due to injuries to the St. Joe Christian's roster. I think Pattonsburg might run away from them a little bit this week, so we'll see what happens there with North Andrew. East Atchison at 9. They might be the 7th best team in the state. I thought about moving them a couple spots, but last week they beat Northwest Nottoway. Wasn't really much of a ball game there. I want to see what they do this week versus South Nottoway Holt. Get another win there, and I'm guessing North Andrew will probably lose. They'll jump up to at least 8 this coming week for East Atchison. We'll kind of see what they have. Their week 5 matchup versus Rockport is looming ahead, so we'll see what happens there with East Atchison. I'm talking about there with 10 with Oric jumping into the top 10 after starting 2-0 after beating a couple of teams here, Chillicothe and Norborne Hardin Central, who were decent last year. And then one team I had at 11, I wanted to put them in this power ranking, but I just couldn't quite do it over Oric, was North Shelby. They've been pretty good so far to the start of this season. If you look at their 2 wins, they beat Christian Life Illinois 36-0, and Coach Bass put out an interesting tidbit on Twitter after the win. It was their first conference win since 2009, I believe, and their first shutout win since 2008. So a decade since one of those 2 things have happened. They went through a long losing streak in 11-man, down to 8-man for their 3rd year. Finally get a shutout, get a conference win. They've been independent the past couple of years. Now in the Central River Conference, they shut out. They got their first conference win was last week versus Northwest Hughesville. This week was their first shutout win since 2008, so congratulations to North Shelby on those 2 accomplishments. I wanted to put them in, I just couldn't quite pull the trigger with them quite yet. They do have Norborne Hardin Central this week. We'll see what they do versus the Aggies there. Week 4, they have Bramer. Week 5, they got Platte Valley. So I could see them starting out the year 5-0, possibly moving to week 6 when they play Chillicothe 6-0. You're going to see North Shelby in the standings. They do play Stanberry in week 7, which will be interesting to see how they do there. Milford, Illinois in week 8, and then week 9 they have Oric, which will probably be for the Central River Championship. So we'll see what happens with North Shelby, but expect them to be ranked sometime this year if they keep winning. They're just going to have too many wins not to rank them pretty much down there. They're going to be able to win a lot of games. Oric right now, They got Judah Christian this week, School of Illinois. After that, they got Stewartsville. Should be interesting to see what they do versus a 275 conference team. Just kind of get a barometer how the teams down south are matching up with some of the teams up north. Week 5, they had Northwest Hughesville. That should be a win for them. Week 6, they got KC East Christian, probably another win. Week 7, they got St. Joe Christian. I think they'll probably win that one as well. And they had Osceola week 8 and North Shelby week 9. So Oric could win 7-8 games this year and get be a team down south that you could look at. Could make the semifinals out of that region, either them or North Shelby. So that should be interesting down there. So that's my power rankings. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Hope you guys share them every week. I like to do them and just kind of get the word out who I think the top 10 teams in the state are. My top 4 are pretty set in stone right now, even though we have this week could shift a little bit in those top 4. But even if even when Stanberry and King City, even when those two teams face, if one of them loses, they're not dropping any lower than 4. Okay, they're going to stay in that top 4 spot. Unless one just comes out and just annihilates the other one, then they could. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think I'm not going to punish one team for playing a really tough team in conference. They're going to beat up on each other a little bit. But those 3 teams at the top are going to stay there. I don't see anybody beating Mountain State in the 275. We'll see in week 4 when they play at Southwest Livingston. That could be a good... That might be for the conference there. So that's what I have there for my power rankings. Hope you guys enjoyed those. Up next, the schedule of games for this week. Kind of went through a few of them already. You got Mountain City hosting Albany. I think Mountain City wins that game. Worth County hosting Bramer. The Tigers should come away with another win there. Osceola at Chilhowee. I'm going to go with the Indians of Osceola over the Indians of Chilhowee here. I think Osceola gets on the board with their first win of the year. Number 6, Southwest Livingston at DeKalb. I think Livingston takes that one as well. Number 9, East Atchison at South Holt Nawi Holt. The Spartans got to figure something out. There's tough start to the year. They've lost to 2 top 6 teams. Number 2, Worth County. Number 6, Livingston on the road. They get their first home game. But I think East Atchison found a gear last week. I think they're going to another win here. Should be a fun ball game, though. Should be a pretty well-contested game. Number 3, King City at Stanberry. I went back and forth in this game a little bit. I wanted to pick King City. I really did, really bad. But going on the road and being Stanberry is very difficult. I'm going to take the Bulldogs in a close game here. Expect a lot of points. Trey Schieber is having himself a heck of a season. I just wanted to highlight this real quick. I think he's second in the state in rushing right now, behind Bywater for East Atchison. Yeah, he has 350 yards. Bywater has 376. Schieber's had 16 carries this year. He has almost 22 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns on 16 carries. He's been phenomenal. So he's right now a shoe-in for All-State running back. He's playing just tremendous football right now for Stanberry. He's a fun back to watch run. While he's playing well, Breckenridge is playing well at quarterback for the Wildcats. Has 319 yards through 2 games, 8 touchdowns, only 1 pick. And that 1 pick did come versus North Andrew. And it was a 4th down. He kind of threw up to the end zone. So he's been playing really good football. He's also 8th in the state in rushing yards, 173 yards with 5 touchdowns on the ground. So Breckenridge having a good season. It should be a fun one. Jacob Moen, a good running back, also there for King City. While Cole Durbin is a good quarterback there for Stanberry. Should be fun. Both teams have pretty good athletes, but I think Stanberry has just enough to get this one out. I think Stanberry is the best team in the state right now, so I'm going to go with it. The Bulldogs get a close win at home versus King City, but that is going to be a fun game to see the score of that one and how that game plays out. After that, Norbert Hardin Central at North Shelby. I'm going to go with Raiders on this one. North Shelby gets the win, starts to prove themselves a little bit in the CRC and make some noise in the state, possibly get ranked next week. We'll see what happens. North Andrew at Pattonsburg. I said this earlier, 8 at 5. I like Pattonsburg in this one. I think they're going to be able to flex their muscles a bit here. I believe it's still Steve Wilhite is their quarterback this year. They're not going to run the ball a whole lot. Pattonsburg wants to air it out a little bit, and they've been able to do it effectively thus far. As he has thrown for a lot of yards. Looks like 657 yards through 2 games. That's about 328 yards a game. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Quarterback rating of 157. 78% completion percentage. He's been outstanding this year for Pattonsburg. They're doing great this year. Has a couple of good receivers with him as well. So Pattonsburg's a team that's going to score a lot of points. They're going to be able to score pretty much anybody. It looks like their top receivers. Trevor Island, Cameron Jones both have over 150 yards receiving this year. Also, Brett Emig has 113 yards receiving. Dakota Eaton has 97 yards. I mean, they have a bunch of guys. Patrick Cowley has 84 yards. They're just a fun team to watch offensively over there in Pattonsburg. So I think they're going to be a team to reckon with a little bit here. I think they're more explosive than North Andrew, and I know they did better in the Jamboree at North Andrew. So I'm going to go with Pattonsburg here to get the win at home. Should be a fun ball game, though. We'll see if North Andrew can show some explosiveness, because they're going to need it versus Pattonsburg. Up next game that I'm calling this Friday, Platte Valley at Northwest Nottoway. Should be a fun one up in Hopkins. Two teams that are 0-2 on the year. Platte Valley's shown some life, though, a little bit here with losing last week to Rockport in a close game for about 2.5 quarters, and Rockport pulled away late, but Platte Valley played with them. That should be fun to see there. I'm not gonna make a prediction for it, but I think it's gonna be a fun game there between the Longhorns and the Muskets. After that, Stewartsville at number 7 Rockport. I think Rockport wins it, but I'm curious to see the score of that one. Rockport has not been able to put teams away early this year, so we'll see what happens there. Number 10 Oric at Judah Christian. Oric, I think, gets the win on that one. I know nothing about Judah Christian over in Illinois, but Oric playing really good football right now. I'll give them the win. And the last one I have here, Northwest Hughesville at KC East Christian. I think Hughesville wins this one, but you're never sure with KC East Christian what they have going on there. It's kind of a different situation there with them. St. Joe Christian has a bye this week, so that's what we have there for the schedule of games here in week number 3. Also, Michigan came out with their district rankings, kind of what they do for their formula for the playoff rankings. We're going to get to those right now. I'm going to go for districts 1 and 3 right now. They'll be meeting in the semifinals this year. And it's a loaded side of the bracket. Look at all those teams that I had ranked. I mean, you have Stanberry, Rockport, East Atchison, Worth County, King City, Livingston, Pattonsburg, with North Shelby on the door just on the outside looking in. So a bunch of teams ranked. Looks like 3 or 4 per district in this one ranked. And also want to know, I know Worth County is 2-0, but they're right now listed as the 5th best team in district number 1. That will change. Their week 2 win versus Bedford didn't really count for anything because it was an out-of-state win. So Worth County will rise up a little bit, especially if they keep winning. But Stanberry 1, Rockport 2, East Atchison number 3, Albany, Worth County, Northwest Nottoway. And District 3, King City right now with a full 48 points, followed by Livingston, North Shelby, Pattonsburg, Stewartsville, and Bramer. So interesting things happening in this district right now, and kind of see what happens moving forwards in District 1 and 3. It's going to be a blood battle to get to the state championship. I think the team that gets out of this side of the bracket has a great shot of winning, but getting there is going to be difficult this year because you have Stanberry, Worth County, and King City. My top 3 teams in the state are all on the same side of the bracket, and after that you still have Livingston and Pattonsburg. So the top 6-7 teams, 6 or 7 of them are, 5 or 6 of them are from this side of the bracket. So it's going to be very difficult to get out of this side. And then you look at the other side of the bracket, you have Mound City, leading district number 2, and you have Oric, leading district number 4, and that's about it right there. It's very difficult to see anybody else really contending right now. North Andrew does not look very their old self. DeKalb has to prove themselves a little bit. Platte Valley, Christian, South Hill all need to win right now. The other side, you have Oric 2-0, but after that, you had Norborn Hardin Central who just lost to Oric, who's a 1-1. Osceola, Northwest Hughesville, and Chillicothe all needing their first win. This side of the bracket's a little bit lighter. Mound City has a great chance to make the state championship game this year, and I think they're pretty good, but I don't know how good they actually are, and we won't be able to probably tell until week 4 when they play Livingston, week 9 when they play Rockport, and they have East Atchison in week 6, but other than that, it won't be until the state championship game until we see them actually kind of get pushed by a GRC team probably there in the championship game. So that's going to be difficult to see how they're going to do this year. Should be a very fun season, though, to kind of see how this all works out. I did have something made up. I did not put it in the show this week. It was the complete 1 through 23 rankings of all of these teams through the Misha side at least. Let me pull it up here real quick. I won't be able to put it on the screen, but I can look at it here. At the top, tied for 1, you had King City, Mountain City, Oric, Rockport, Stanberry, all with 48 points. At 6, you had Livingston at 46.5. Tied 7, you had North Shelby and Pattonsburg, both with 43. 9th, you had East Ashland with 31.5. Tied 10th, you had Albany, DeKalb, Northern, Hardin Central, North Andrew, and Stewartsville, all with 30 points. Osceola with 20 at 15th. Tied at 16, you had Braemar, Northwest Hughesville, Platte Valley, and South Holt, Nolly Holt. They all had 17 points. Number 20 came in at Worth County at 16.5. Chillicothe and Cedar Christian tied at 21 with 12 points. In last place, Northwest Nottoway with 7. So, it's a little early for these rankings, I know, especially with Worth County all the way down there at 20th. That's definitely not accurate to see where they actually are in the state. They are a very good football team. They're easily top 5, most likely top 3 in the state right now. So, that's where they are right now. Just kind of interesting to kind of see how that progresses as the year goes on. Teams get big wins. I think it's outside of 13 points, you get 78 points. Wins on the road. There's the whole formula that Michigan uses, and that's kind of what they're basing on right now. So it's interesting to see how that's going to go through. That's all I really got for you guys this week. I want you guys to make sure you follow me on Twitter at Devin Albertson, at Mo8ManFootball, and at Show_Straight. K&IM game of the week this week is Platte Valley at Northwest Nottoway in Hopkins. The following week, we will have South Holt, Nolly Holt at Platte Valley. So excited for the next couple of weeks to see some Platte Valley football in this area. Excited to see what's going to happen this weekend. A couple of good games. You guys see Pattonsburg, North Andrew, and the big one this week, you have Stanberry and King City. See how those teams do. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you Friday for the weekend review show. Hope you guys watched the D2 show that I posted earlier today. And I'm back on track here on the shows. Thank you for listening. And I will see you Friday here on Straight Up Sports with Devin Albertson.